Hello everyone and welcome to Oriana Unlock. I am Oriana and on this channel we are going to be diving deep in order to unlock new knowledge about topics that truly matter. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that can quite literally change the way we see the world and the way we get what we want. Imagine having the abilities necessary to navigate any discussion, to advocate for yourself powerfully, and to even build stronger relationships, all while achieving your goals. Sounds pretty epic, right? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be unlocking today, the powerful tool of negotiation. Joining us today is a master of this art and science of negotiation. He has not only studied, but he has taught on multiple occasions the program on negotiation at Harvard, helping multiple individuals master this crucial life skill. So please join me in welcoming our guest for today, Mr. Gustavo Velásquez. Mr. Velásquez, thank you so much for being here with us today and for helping us unlock this powerful tool that is negotiation.
Thank you very much, Oriana, for your time to have the opportunity to have a chat with you. I'm delighted.
So first, for our audience to get to know what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about the program on negotiation at Harvard. I wanted to ask you, what is the PON and when and why was it created?
Well, the PON is the program on negotiation at Harvard. It was created in 1983, and its goal is to study and teach negotiation and conflict resolution. It was founded many years ago, as I told you before. The main issue is to understand what is the best way to deal with our differences when there are different kind of conflicts among partners, among leaders, or in a low conflict. So they found very important elements and a way to know, to understand how is the process of negotiation. There are two main things about the negotiation that they develop. The first thing is that every negotiation is a process, always a process. It's not a miracle. It's not a moment of magic. No, it's a process. And in this process, there are always the same elements, always present in this negotiation process. So the main thing is to have this kind of observation to understand how those elements manifested during the process, during the negotiation process.
I also wanted to ask you, why is the PON considered one of the most important programs on negotiation in the world?
Well, because it brings together experts from Harvard, MIT, and top universities. It combines research with real-life practice. This is the most important thing. All this methodology comes from real life, not for imagination. And its ideas are used all over the world.
Also, when I was researching, I found out that there were 7 elements to the PON, and these elements help us discern whether our negotiation was successful or not. So could you please help us refresh what these 7 elements are?
Yes, there are seven elements. The first one is interest. It is to understand what are our necessities, our interests. That's the most important thing in a negotiation process, to understand what is the interest of the other part and to say what is my interest in some moment. The other element is options. No, options is the ways that we can find a solution. You have to be very creative when you look for options, for different ways to satisfy our necessities. The other element is alternative. Alternative is your plan B. What would you do if you don't get a deal with the other part? What is the other way that you have to deal in order to satisfy your interests? The other element is legitimacy. Legitimacy is the base, the sustain, the criteria, the objective criteria that you have to use in order to propose a deal which have some sustain, and it's not only about my thoughts or my imagination. You need something objective in order to find legitimacy in the moment you are presenting your proposal, your options. Other very important elements is communication. Communication, and the other element is the relationship. Those two elements are very, very important, because if you don't have a good communication, if you don't have a good relationship, it's impossible to talk about interest. It's impossible to talk about options or be creative, because it's very difficult to get along with the other part. So you have to take care always about the communication and the relationship. And the seventh element is commitment. Is the last thing that you have to do in a negotiation process. So you have to arrive to a commitment with very carefully, with detail, and you have to get a commitment that is feasible, no? That you can develop the relation for the days after the negotiation. Those are the seven elements that presented the Harvard negotiation project. We used to include another element, an eighth element, which is the context. You have to know, to understand what is the context of the negotiation process in the way that you gain more, understand better the process that you are developing.
I want to make an emphasis on the point that you said about alternatives. When I was investigating, I learned about the BATNA, which is the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. What can we do if, when we are negotiating, the BATNA of the other person is powerful and our BATNA is not that good for our interest? How can we fix that, or how can we deal with a situation like that?
Well, first, you have to try to improve your BATNA, your alternative, your plan B. No, this is very important. The main recommendation is, first, before you go into a negotiation process, you have to analyze what is your BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. In second place, the recommendation is focus on interest, the other part interest and your interest, not in position. Forget about to negotiate about position, about fixed points. No, you have to focus on interest. And third, you have to create value before claiming value. When you go to the negotiation process and you are at the table in the negotiation process, you have to offer value, to create value for both parts in order to get a win-win game.
Another point that I believe is important to highlight is the one regarding communication and relationships. Sometimes we find ourselves having to negotiate with a person that we do not really like. And it can be hard, especially for us teenagers, to have good communication with someone we don't have a good relationship with. So what tips do you recommend in order to separate the person from the problem when negotiating?
Well, the first thing is focus on the issue, not on emotions. That's it's wrong when you get the negotiation about emotions. Separate that. In second place, listen carefully before responding. No, you have to listen. I remember some years ago when we were working with Professor Roger Fisher. We asked to Professor Fisher, please, Professor, give us one recommendation. And he said, well, the best recommendation in a negotiation process is to listen very carefully. So this is very, very important. Before you respond, you have to listen carefully first and be respectful, even if you disagree. This is very important because this is part of the action that you have to take in order to maintain a good relationship.
If anyone in our audience wants to study or wants to explore more about the art of negotiation because it is truly fascinating, what do you recommend they do? What do you recommend they research? Where do they go? Any recommendations?
Well, the first recommendation is to, when you are in a discussion where there are different opinions, well, as I told you before, you have to listen. You have, I recommend the book Professor Fisher and William Ury and Bruce Patton wrote many years ago, which is Getting to Yes. This is a very clear methodology to understand what is the negotiation process. Negotiation process is not about to win over the other person. No, the negotiation is to find value and to get more value beginning from the relationship that we have, from the resources that you have and the resources that I have. So always take notes, ask questions. This is very important. Ask questions instead of attacking the other part. You remember that you are not fighting a person. You are looking for understand what you can see also to get into negotiation work it's important to observe different dynamics between your partners, between your friends and your family, and try to understand and to find the elements that we mentioned before in this process that you are observing.
Mr. Velásquez, is there any final words or any key takeaway that you'd like to leave for our audience today?
Well, it's important to read cases in the PON, in the webpage of the PON. You can find many cases about negotiation. Very, very nice to read them and to find the solutions, practice in a daily life, and take courses that focus on real negotiation.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Velásquez, for your time, for your words today. Everything that you have said to us has been truly fascinating, and thank you for helping us unlock this new world of negotiation, especially a world as important as the program of negotiation at Harvard. Truly a key knowledge to understand and to unlock. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Oriana. And remember, negotiation is not about making better decisions together. And it's a skill that you can use for your entire life. Thank you very much, Oriana. Sorry for my English, but I hope these words could be helpful for you or your audience.
No, truly, thank you for everything. Thank you for teaching us this. And it is true what you're saying. Everyone can start doing this. Everyone can start applying these skills in their daily life. And that is what is so fascinating about negotiation. So if you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did, and if you learned as much as I did, please do not forget to like this video, to subscribe to the channel, to ring that notification bell, and to follow me on all of my social media accounts at Oriana Unlock on Instagram and on TikTok, so that you never miss out on a new opportunity to unlock new knowledge together. Today we had the opportunity to unlock negotiation, and I just want to thank you for watching, for joining me today, and I'll see you very, very soon. Mr. Velásquez, thank you, and thank you for watching. Bye!
Bye, thank you.